Babaritsi baba. Soon we're gonna get salty. Yeah. So I just finished filming my favorite things in romance books, and now we're getting on to a little bit of the spicy, a little bit of the grumpy side. Today we're gonna talk about my least favorite / hated things in romance books. And I have quite a few of them, so let's just get right into it. My number one least favorite thing that I find in romance books is miscommunication or lack of communication. I absolutely hate this. I have hated this not just in romance books, I hate this in every single book. Because a lot of the times when you have this miscommunication or lack of communication going on, then the plot normally is held up by this teeny tiny little thread that could be solved with a conversation. And I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. The more romance that I read, the less that I find it in there, thank God. And there's always, a bigger conflict going on besides this lack of communication. I have rated many a book low because of the plot solely being held up by lack of communication. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay. The second thing that I do not like in romance books is if I'm reading a series and each singular book in the series ends with a pregnancy. I cannot stand that because not every woman in the world wants to have children, and having a pregnancy at the end of every single one of the books in the series grinds my gears. It grinds my gears. I'm totally chill with children in books, totally cool with kids as characters in the books. But if every single book in the series ends with a pregnancy and that's the end and that's like their happily ever after is, oh my God, we're gonna have a baby. Nope. Because sometimes that's not people's happily ever after. Sometimes they go retire in the woods with a dog. They don't have to have children. The next one I think goes without saying, but I'm still gonna mention it, lying and cheating. I don't like it. I cannot stand it, and it's one of the things that is just like, it bugs me in my real life. I don't want to read it in books. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if we're reading romance, we don't want the cheating to happen, but I also feel like lying also goes hand in hand with cheating as well. And lying by omission to protect someone, I can see. But lying for no reason or lying for a preconceived reason, this kind of goes with lack of communication. I don't like it. I just don't like it. Just tell people the truth. Just tell people the truth. Have your character tell each other the truth. And if that is the reason why we have this third act breakup because somebody lied by omission, nope. The next thing that bugs me in romance books is one that can be done well, and I've read it done well, but it still irritates me because it's in a lot of them, and a lot of the times it is not done well. And that is the irritating ex of whoever showing up to mess with my babies, okay? I don't like it. Like I said, it can be done well. I've seen it done well. But sometimes this irritating ex from the past is solely introduced to cause conflict between the main characters, which leads to lack of communication and lying by omission. I don't like it. I don't like it. The next thing that I hate to find in romance novels is when the two characters are not getting together for stupid reasons. Sometimes we have characters who are separated for a really, really good reason, and they're having to work through it and fight for their love and all this other cool stuff. But then sometimes they're just not together for stupid reasons, like my daddy wouldn't approve. Things that I find stupid, which is relative, because sometimes I find things stupid that would not be stupid for other people, but things that I find stupid, if they're not getting together for reasons that I find stupid, it gets on my nerves. The next thing that I hate in romance novels goes along with the miscommunication. That is obviously my least favorite. When the author introduces an argument or a fight that sole purpose is to further the plot and facilitate that third act breakup, I cannot stand it. And a lot of the times this does hinge on miscommunication or even the irritating ex showing up. I cannot stand it. I don't really like the third act breakup anyway. I like the slow burn. I can't speak. I like the slow burn build up and then they're finally together and then that's it. I don't want a third act breakup. Maybe I should add that to the list. I hate the third act breakup. Thank you very much. And the last thing that I want to mention that I absolutely hate in romance books is, and this I find a lot in fantasy stories, no concern for protection, and then they're surprised that they're pregnant, even though they have been banging like rabbits for the last 50 pages. And they're like, oh my god, I'm pregnant, what? I find it a lot less in more contemporary mafia, billionaire, that kind of stuff, but a lot of the times in fantasy, especially if we have a fantasy where the heroine is from a different time or a different world, and they just don't talk about protection at all. They don't talk about any of that. They don't talk about any forms of protection. I don't like it. And then they're surprised that they're pregnant. I don't like it. I don't like it. And that goes along with my hatred of fourth act babies. I don't like fourth act babies. I don't want every single fantasy romance book that I read to end in a surprise pregnancy. I don't like it. So I would love to read more fantasy stories that talk about protection from babies, and maybe even possibly have a main character who doesn't want children and actively pursues and insists upon protection from children. That video got me heated. I got a little bit of a headache now. So those are some of the things that I hate to see in romance novels. Let me know down below what your #1 top hated thing to find in books is. If you're not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to. If you want to follow me on Goodreads or Instagram, the links to those are down below. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today, and I will see you guys next time.